team in line.
Greg, the big story, the return of the captain.
Oh, absolutely. I talked to him this morning. The 2002 playoffs when he led his team to the Stanley Cup. It made Canucks are trying to stay ahead of Minnesota for third seed in the West. To the broadcast booth we go. We find Rick Ball with Cubby Rick.
Thank you, Scott. Starting goaltenders tonight, you talked about Corey Schneider. Maybe the single biggest reach of the Canucks with one switch in a row. His stats are impressive. He's climbed to 6th best in the NHL in goals against and 4th best in save percentage. He'll start at 7th straight for the Canucks. At the other end, it's Devin Dubnyk, the 6'6" former Kamloops Blazer between the pipes for the Oilers. Came in relief of Nikolai Habibulin last game. They won that game, coming from behind to knock off Columbus, and he gets the start tonight. Officials tonight, your referee, Don Van Massen, from Nikolai Habibulin last game. They won that game, coming from behind to knock off Columbus, and he gets the start tonight. Officials tonight, your referee, and he gets the start tonight. Officials tonight, your referee, Don Van Massen, over to Kyle Raymond, linesman, Brian Mock, and David Breezeball. It's top line against top line to start this game. Sedin against Nugent Hopkins. We're underway. Hockey night. Sedin wins the draw. Daniel will dump it in. Six of the Stanley Cup final. Sedin with Burrows watching against the puck to the corner. Up the boards and out. Here's Hall behind coverage. Top gets the puck. Daniel will dump it in. Sedin with Burrows. Henrik Sedin wins the draw. Daniel will dump it in. Sedin with Burrows watching against the puck to the corner. Up the boards and out. Here's Hall behind coverage. Trying to work it in on the right side. Taylor Hall with a shot. We're underway in Edmonton. Henrik Sedin wins the draw. Daniel will dump it in. Sedin with Burrows watching against the puck to the corner. Up the boards and out. Here's Hall behind coverage. Trying to work it in on the right side. Taylor Hall with a shot. Scores! Boards and out. Sedin with Burrows watching. Gets the puck to the corner. Up the boards and out. Here's Hall behind coverage. Gets the puck to the corner. Up the boards and out. Here's Hall behind coverage. Trying to work it. Schrader.
And Matt, I took that back. He had it back. Didn't see Hall behind him. I took that back. I don't think that was rolling. That was just a terrific shot from Schneider. Short side.
Sedin right back out there for Vancouver. Henrik wins the draw. Garrison with that big shot puts it wide of the goal. Garrison also over the top. That might be Shemsky dumps the puck in. Racing to it is Bjarke. He's going to try to have a puck hooked off the stick by Hamhuis. Royals takes control. They'll throw it down ice. This is a set play as it bounces out to Daniel. It's been around. He can't tuck it in. He got around Dubnyk on the backhand, but couldn't get the shot away. Back the other way comes Yakupov into the zone with speed. Plays it out front. That's deflected out, and Henrik is sniffing around at center ice for a loose puck. A good job by Connor to scoop it aside. Canucks dump it in. This is icing on Vancouver.
This isn't a play that Vancouver uses often, but boy, when they do it, it's extremely effective. And I'm a little bit surprised, actually, that more teams don't use this. Burrows in his own zone knows that Daniel has a stride on the Oilers' defense. That is just a really well thought out play. I love that one. I wish that more teams would try that.
Something the Canucks do every now and then, and like you said, Kelly, when it does work, it can lead to a great chance, and that was an opportunity right there for the Canucks to answer back. Daniel never did get the shot away. Still out there after the icing call, able to clear the zone. And now it's played off Burrows deep. The Canucks will change. Jeff Petrie out the center. Mike Brown fanned on a shot off the boards. Alberts plays it ahead, won't clear. Petrie shot, tipped wide by Cottrell. Watched by Tanev. Ryan Smith now to Brown in the corner. Alberts has him tied up. Cottrell gets it back to the point. Petrie with room, plays it over to Schmid. Top of the circle with a shot, scores! The circle with a shot. Ryan Smith now to Brown. Up for the Schmid. Ryan Smith now. Flip the left. The Raider. Goal. Taylor working off. Nice pass to Hall with room. Shot. Score. Tried to Nugent Hopkins. Working on Edler. Nice pass. Further out. Deflects right of the goal.
And just at the moment where his revolver goes down, then he just moves it over his shoulder.
For 4 games, he has 7 points, 4 goals in that stretch.
They're just known for playing great spot in the first, and it's I can't recall Rick.
Alex Hemsky out the center ice. Whitney jumping up on the play. It's hit the referee. Gagne gets the puck, puts it off the stick of Garrison, and goes out of play. 3 goals in 2:27 of the first period.
Well, this will be a real test for both Vancouver goaltenders to rebound from this start. And at this point right now, you can't think big picture. And to Roberto Luongo, you don't have to worry that the first shot you face it, you have to now be perfect. Just stop the next shot you face. That's a very simple mindset that the goaltender will have. Don't worry that you might lose 5 or 6-0. Just make the next stop.
Higgins against Horcov on the draw. Horcov wins it. Jones behind the net for Horcov. Looking out front for Yakupov. Pass was blocked, and then it's knocked to the corner by Taylor. Scored his first NHL goal to win a game in overtime in Edmonton on February 4th this season. Andrew Albert's behind the net. Pressure. Comes back to the line. Jones able to keep it onside. Petrie popped it up to Alberts. He'll play it off the glass. Not out. Petrie kept it in. A shot deflected into the corner by Yakupov. Plays it back to the left point. Jones. Yakupov out front. Pass deflected away, and Evan has the puck, tips it to Pinizzato, and he'll dump it in. Vancouver will make a change. I'll get it back out for the Canucks. The lead pass for Ryan Smith into the zone. He almost got around Edler. Last second, the Canucks defenseman able to tip the puck aside. Here comes Burrows back the other way. Over the line with Henrik and Daniel. Burrows up front. Pass picked up. Nice job by Mike Brown on the back check, and he's able to clear the zone. Petrell dumps it in. Edler goes to it. Knocked away from him off front. Petrell couldn't catch up to it. Daniel Sedin takes it. Alex Burrows after it. Tip past him. Past Edler. Now a race to the puck of the Canucks line. Here's Brown with Ryan Smith in front of the pass. Blocked by Kevin Bieksa. Edler tied up on Brown. Edler coming up to the Oilers. Like Edler got a stick up in his face. Canucks on the late call. Finally get the message to Roberto Luongo, who heads on for the extra attacker. Yannick Hansen over the line. Here's Bieksa. Pass deflected. He's able to keep it in. Puts it to the corner. Schrader. Bouncing puck. Now it's touched. And the whistle blows, and the Canucks will see a power play that has struggled could help get some momentum back on their side after a tough start, Kelly.
Referee Kyle Raymond noticed that Ryan Smith, in trying to battle for the puck with Alex Edler, gets a stick up accidentally right here, but nonetheless, that is a call. You have to make that right there. And if nothing else, the Oilers just, or the, right here, Ryan Smith, there's another long outlet pass, and he had Edler beating the zone. You know, they're really on their heels, Vancouver. Right now, if nothing else, just settle down. Even if you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because they are clearly rattled right now.
Power play that has been among the best of the NHL.
If you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because even if you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because they are clearly rattled right now. Get some, now, if nothing else, just settle down. Even if you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because you don't get clearly rattles Vancouver. Right now, if nothing else, just settle down. Even if you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because they are clearly rattled right now.
That has been among the best of the NHL for the last 3 years. Is second worst right now. 2 for their last 53. A little work here. The pass goes between Edler and Garrison and out. Edler back on the top unit. Daniel Sedin the last 3. Can't play that left point. He moves up front with Henrik and Yannick Hansen. And here's Hansen through center. Daniel to Edler. Long shot deflected twice. Doing it now. Puck loose. And it's played to the boards. Anderson. Edler. Shot. Saved by Dubnik. No rebound. 1:03 left in the power play.
Well, Rick, we were talking with Alain Vigneault before the game, and one of the adjustments he's going to make is that Hansen's going to go in front. We all know how good Burrows is in that position, but just try and spark this power play. Get Hansen in there. He's very good as well. And see if you can't get something started that way. You know, with all the talent they have, it's pretty surprising the power play is so dismal.
One-timer by BX off the draw, deflects wide of the goal. Jones has broken his stick. Here's Burrows with a chance, and the shot put him high. Mason Raymond to Burrows, missed him with a pass. And Schultz able to dump it down the ice. Jordan Schrader. It's Raymond. His pass to Burrows intercepted. The trap clears. Half a minute to go on the Ryan Smith penalty. Alex Burrows. Hands on his pass, gets the puck back. Kevin Bieksa tried to hit Schrader through a bunch of bodies, and that was easily intercepted by Jeff Petrie and put it down the ice, and that should pretty much do it for this Vancouver power play.
Just not a lot of confidence amongst that group right now. You know, just trying to make too many fancy passes.
Here they come over the line, but a penalty coming up just as Ryan Smith steps out of the box. And it looks like Pinizzato is heading off. It's all Oilers right now, just approaching the 8-minute mark of the first period. Edmonton 3, Canucks no score. What was the power play as Pinizzato sits?
Well, he looked puzzled, and for good reason, when he went to the penalty box. You can see his spot on your screen. That's just Sam Gagner that falls on his own accord. So Pinizzato gets an unfortunate penalty for interference. And here's the exchange between Schneider and Luongo. Both good friends. As Schneider goes for the bench, and Luongo enters the game 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the first.
Oilers get 3 goals in the first 2:43 of the opening period. 2 of them by Taylor Hall. The first one 16 seconds in. And it has been all Edmonton, and now they get a chance with the man advantage. Just killed off a penalty of their own. Nugent Hopkins gets it down low. It's jammed in by Hall. It is. And all that gets it in. Justin Schultz. They kill off a penalty of their own. They kill off a penalty of their own. And they go to work on the power play.
Schultz and Hino and Taylor Hall, but I like the first 2 shots. Luongo firmly packed, but that all of this
Offense, they
he might not want it through the goaltender. High shorts away.
Throws it towards the net, intercepted. And here's Hall off the center ice. The up pass broken up at the line. The Canucks go back the other way. Burrows works in there one-on-one, and then Schultz. They lost the puck to the effect of the slide. Edward Sedin. The Army able to get it out. Bieksa stepped up. The Army saw it in the last second. Puck slides back to the Vancouver blue line. Shots are 5-2. Oilers have 4 goals on 5 shots.
I'm sure it's happened before, Rick, but I can never recall that happening in a National Hockey League game.
Tom Sestito up after it. No fly out for Vancouver. Sam Gagner takes it away. Whitney. Gagner. Hensky in the corner. Sestito gets the puck. Lapierre brings it up. Off shot in. Easy save for Dubnik. Andrew Gordon behind that, flips it out front. Whitney cleared it to the side. Sestito. Pro check. Lapierre falls. Puck comes to Alberts with a shot, put it wide. Hannon. He gets a shot away deflected. Glove save by Dubnik. That changed direction at the top of the crease. He had to be sharp to make that stop. Corey Potter with the puck as the Canucks start a change. Oilers take their time as we approach the midway mark of a wild first period in Edmonton. Mason Raymond steals an air pass. Chips it towards the goal, but never got it through. When he cut it off, he's been out there for a while. Hemsky able to clear it. And this will be icing on Edmonton as Garrison gets back to it.
Got low.
On Edmonton as Garrison gets back to it.
Well, one of the things Ralph Kruger was telling us this morning about the chemistry that Gagne and PRV have, and what I really think is improved in their play is a down-low cycling play. And this is Hemsky and Gagne, but the three of them have just really learned how to get chances from this, and a really lucky save right there with Zubin. You can see his glove was even turned the other way. Tanem's shot deflected right in front by an Oiler.
Off the draw, Raymond gets a shot away that deflects high. Garrison, weak shot to the goal, didn't get there. Potter's able to golf it out to center ice. Jordan Schrader with the puck. Now Raymond. Horcov back to it. Speed gets it ahead. Jones will play it out. Right wing center. Horcov able to dump it in. And we're back to it. Takes the pass. Mason Raymond. Heading off, and Speed able to play the puck to the line. Biek's a good job to keep it onside with a shot, but the puck's right on goal. This puck and Pizarro can't get a stick to it. Another tip that forced Dubnyk to make a save as the Oilers clear the zone. Brown will work it over the line with a long, weak shot that deflects wide. Brown up after, watched by Biek. Pinizzotto gets control of the puck. Out to center ice. This is Higgins down the wing. Turns. Andrew Evan gets the puck behind that. Lets it go to Pinizzotto. Watched by Ryan Smith. Evan with a shot. Save, rebound. Oh, great save by Dubnyk as he walked Higgins on the back end. A beauty. Justin Schultz ahead of Taylor Hall. Nick Schultz. Nugent Hopkins. Here comes Hall. We get on Alberts, and the Canucks go back the other way. Daniel Sedin with Everett. 2-on-2 into the zone. Daniel knocked down on the corner. Burrow's battling for a puck with Everly. Gets control of the puck. He's at the line with a shot, deflecting off goal. Dubnyk makes the save, and he's able to cover up. The Canucks showing signs of life, but it's all Edmonton right now as they lead Vancouver 4-0 on Hockey Night in Canada. Of life, but it's all Edmonton right now as they lead Vancouver 4-0 on Hockey Night in Canada.
1-1. To go all the hall is an Edmonton franchise record for the 3 fastest goals to start a game. You have to go all the way back to 9 hockey time, if ever, a team scored on its first 3 shots of the game. Rick?
Thank you, Scott. You think about the great Oilers teams in the 80s that could score almost a route.
I might have been the goalie of Western. Just saying.
That's an amazing record to break for this franchise. An incredible start for the Oilers. Canucks have settled down a bit here, but boy, they're getting hurt right now. Henderson goes for it. He checks the angle. Comes to the corner with Daniel Sedin. This is Hemsky. PRV out to center. Sam Gagne will dump it in. Henrik Sedin out as far as the line. Hemsky takes it away. Canucks change. Oilers try to take advantage. PRV in the middle back there with a shot. Oh, he hit the post in behind the wall. Another chance out front. Hemsky fans gets it back. Oh, makes the save. And Hemsky had a double clutch with an open net, and Rwanda was able to recover and make the stop.
Wow, I just can't believe the chances the Oilers are getting time and time again. The Oilers going to have a great backhand right here. Hits a post, and then if Hemsky doesn't lose possession of the puck right there, that's a pretty easy open net. Luckily for Luongo, Hemsky can't pull the trigger right away, and then with Luongo not giving up and continuing to battle, He makes a save facing the opposite direction, but this is hard to imagine right now.
As a contrast to what they've been doing during the 6-game win streak, hard to believe it's the same team. There's 6 shots by the Oilers, but most of them grade A opportunities, 4 of them have found the back of the net. Garrison with a shot, fielding save. Sestito, points yet as a Vancouver Canuck, tries a shot that deflects the line. Pierre lost control of it, but Matthews keeps it in. Andrew Gordon goes to it. Matthews tries a shot from the line that doesn't get through. Gordon trying to feed it up front for Sestito. That pass is blocked. Good play by Nick Schultz, who puts it off the glass. Yakupov trying to clear and does.
Oilers' defense are terrific in puck battles right now in their own zone. Clearly they have the upper hand.
This is icing on Vancouver. 5:41 left.
Hemsky
At the point, looking for a lane, puts it wide, hit the referee in the skate. Under control, watched by Garrison. Steve Pinizzano will work it out. And the down the forecheck. Potter beats him to the puck. He'll put it off the boards. Not out. Ryan Smith follows up, though. Here's Petrell working on Tanev. Andrew Albert's behind the net. Pinizzano puts it off the glass. Higgins trying to get away, but Smead able to take the puck from him at the Edmonton line. Taylor Hall, 3 goals already in this game. Back on the ice. Hall took a hard hit from the exit in front of the bench. The Oilers working in. Nancy gets control. Gave it away to Hall. Everly can't get to the front of the goal. The exit. Won't get it. Cleared off the center ice. Canucks trying to be more physical on this line right now.
The exit for sure, there's no question about that.
Nick Schultz pitching. Andrew Alberts gets the loose puck. Mason Raymond will lift it up. Both teams start a change. 16 minutes gone in the first. 4-0. Oilers leading. And skill on the line. Check by Edwin. Henrik Sedin to the exit. Now Henrik. Daniel. Circles the net. Royals with a shot. Deflected towards the goal. Keeping Baptiste at least down, but the puck's played to the corner. Hemsky there to clear the zone off the center. Bounces past Tanev. Race for the puck at the Vancouver line. Tanev gets back to it. Burrow's pass intercepted, but popped up to Daniel Sedin with Henrik over the line. Henrik for Burrows. DRV, nice play off the boards to Whitney, and the Oilers break back the other way. Potter with a one-timer. The blockers that aside. Here's Jones in the line. He'll shoot. Another blocker saved by Luongo. Tanev gets the puck in the corner. Oilers more than happy to sit back late this period up by 4. And allows the Canucks to make a change as Alex Everett plays it ahead. Andrew Everett tries to dump it in, puts that puck out of play. At the Edmonton bench.
The Stanley Cup final.
Well, the Oilers are in control thanks to that man's hat-trick on 4-0 on CBC. Well, tomorrow will an artist's Disney dream be dashed in the den, and then an all-new Republic of Doyle Jake escapes a near-death experience. That's starting at 8 tomorrow on CBC TV. 4-0 Oilers at top line. Taylor Hall with the hat-trick, Kelly, and Kevin Bieksa realizing they got to play them more physically.
Absolutely. Taylor Hall, no stranger to big hits, and this one rocks him a little bit. He's going to get up, and then he's going to start flexing his shoulder a little bit, figure out what's going on. Bit of a different feeling in that shoulder, so looks like he's good to go, though.
Score lopsided. Canucks have had some chances with some weird bounces right in front of Dubnyk. He's got to be sharp to keep this clear.
Absolutely. Weird bounces and deflections in front.
side of the goal, comes back to the line. Petrie fakes. Schmid. He'll shoot. Easy save for Luongo. And Hamhuis off the boards for Higgins. Petrie activates and keeps the play alive. Mike Brown at the line. Hamhuis over to it. Pinizzato off the boards and out.
Canucks just uncomfortable handling the puck in their own zone right now. Offensively, it's not bad, but defensively in their own zone, they just do not want to make another mistake.
Sestito gets to a loose puck, finds Andrew Gordon out the left here in center ice. Final minute of play in the first. There's a loose puck in front of the Vancouver goal again, and Andrew Gordon able to sweep it away. Pierre will clear the zone. It has been an adventure defensive for the Canucks in this first period. Nugent Hopkins in front. Now it's touched. And the whistle blows, and the Canucks will see a power play that has struggled can help get some momentum back on their side after a tough start, Kelly.
For the puck with Kyle Raymond, notice that Ryan Smith, in trying to battle for the puck with Alex Edler, gets a stick up accidentally right here, but nonetheless, that is a call. You have to make that right there. And if nothing else, the Oilers just, right here, Ryan Smith, there's another long outlet pass, and he had Edler beaten as well. You know, they're really on their heels, Vancouver. Right now, if nothing else, just settle down. Even if you don't get a lot of chances on the power play, get some puck possession and settle down, because they are clearly rattled right now.
Power play that has been among the best of the NHL for the last 3 years is second worst right now. 2 for their last 53. They'll go to work here. Pass goes between Edler and Garrison and out. Edler back on the top unit. Danielson in the last couple of games has it off the stick of Garrison and goes out of play. 3 goals in 2:27 of the first period.
Well, this will be a real test for both Vancouver goaltenders to rebound from this start. And at this point right now, you can't think big picture. If you're Roberto Luongo, you don't have to worry that your first shot you face, if you have to now be perfect, just stop the next shot you face. That's a very simple mindset that goaltender will have. Don't worry that you might lose 5 or 6. Nothing. Just make the next stop.
Higgins against Horcov on the forget. Puck in front of the Everly in center. Watch by Stoll. Big hit thrown by Everly. Everly pops right back up because the puck comes to the side of the goal. Luongo will cover up for a whistle with 6.4 seconds to go. Garrison circles the net, and that'll do it. Last Oiler with 3 goals in the first period was Jason Arnott in 1996. Taylor Hall's got 3 tonight and took a whack on the arm there from Bieksa.
Sure does. Kevin Bieksa is not going to go down without a fight. We know that. And as much as Taylor Hall was troubled with his shoulder a couple seconds ago, that clearly looks like that's a real bothersome injury right now.
So the Oilers come out of this one, out of the gates on fire. They get 3 goals in the first 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Hall adds another. He has the hat trick. And Edmonton is in control. Oilers 4, Canucks no score. In Edmonton. Now let's hit back to Toronto. Here's Ron with Goff. Cheers.
But 4 misconducts at the end of the first period for yapping at each other, so they'll be gone for 10, but we'll watch for any encounters they might have with each other the rest of the way. Alain Vigneault said to us earlier today, it's not in his team's best interest to open it up these days, but here's his team down 4-0 after one, so what choice do the Canucks have? Canucks associate coach Rick Bowness just said to me, the Oilers speed through us in the first, and our challenge now is just to win the second period.
Thank you, Scott. Scoreless shootout win they had over Columbus, and they were the only team to score in the shootout, so I guess you can do that one twice to play.
Throw that period out the window, good for the Oilers, trying to recapture that management.
They started on fire, the Canucks went flat, and here we it off for Daniel. Here's Bieksa with a shot from the point, and that was off of a skate in front of Kubnik. He may have gotten a piece of it. Puck played back to the front of the net. Sam Gagner able to take it away. He'll bring it through center. 3 Oilers in over the line. They have numbers. Here's Hensky with a man out front. There's the pass. Off the crossbar. Piarvi that close to making it 5-0. Second time they've hit the post in this game, too, on top of the 4 goals they've scored. Schrader at center. And that's the risk. When you're down 4-0, trying to open it up and get back in the game, you're going to give up those chances going back the other way.
But you have no choice if you don't start to open it up. Typically, you wouldn't start to do that if you're down a goal or two till late in the third, but in this case, they really have no choice.
Garrison's able to clear the zone. Here's Jones. Yakupov for Horcov. Sean Horcov back to the line. Potter with a shot that deflects over top of the net. Yakupov in the corner. Watched by Garrison. Throws it out front, that hit the side of the goal. Raymond gets the loose puck. Can't clear it. Potter able to keep it in. Yakupov. Now Raymond takes it away in the slot. He works the puck back out the center for Vancouver. End of a shift. Dumps it in. Heads off on a change.
Shot along, able to shut the door on the short side. Should get to it first. Down the boards, able to cut it off though. Speed will try the other side. Gets it up to Piarvi and he'll clear the zone. Good defensive coverage by the Oilers. Here's Petrell the other way with a shot. Whistle down line. Puck goes around the glass and out. And they're going to call the Oilers for too many men on the ice. Nugent Hopkins picked up that puck right in front of the bench as he came off on a change. Well, Kruger not happy with the call.
Edmonton bench minor, too many men on the ice. One of those where just as players are going off and on the ice, and you almost feel when your player coming on the ice that you have no choice but to play the puck. Some of those are just bang, bang. Here's one of the saves that Kubnik has made. It's been a really difficult period for him in that sense of the game. So not a lot of clean saves, and this is that chemistry we talked about. Hensky, Gagner, and Piarvi. Hensky waiting for the fencing go down, and then Piarvi showing a lot of confidence. Boy, I'll tell you, just the swagger that he has now, taking the time to actually place that shot up and over Luongo. Just would not have seen that from Piarvi in the first part of the season.
Yeah, well, Kruger telling us today, the last 10 games, Kelly, he's been their best forward in terms of going to the net. To the blue page, as he called it. Second power play of the game for Vancouver. Garrison's shot stops and it goes out of play.
Worry that your first shot you face it, you have to now be perfect. Just stop the next shot you face. For point right now, you can't think big picture. If you're Roberto Luongo, you don't have to worry that your first shot you face it, you have to now be perfect. Just stop the next shot you face. That's a very simple mindset that the goaltender will have. Don't worry that you might lose 5 or 6. The mindset that the goaltender will have. Don't worry that you might lose 5 or 6. Nothing. Just make the next stop.
Quincy. The rebound is Daniel. Henrik is Garrison by Smeed.
That's a brave block.
As Garrison can shoot it. Here's Daniel. Henrik in the slot. Takes the pass. Plays it to the side of the goal, and Hansen couldn't handle it. Henrik to Daniel. Back to Garrison. Daniel. Henrik tipped wide. Garrison. Henry. Daniel. Jason Garrison. Daniel Sedin. Henry. Garrison. Drone. Shot. Goes off the leg. That was Horcov who blocked that. But the puck comes back to the line. Horcov finds a stick in with the puck down the ice.
Very aggressive Ryan Smith and Sean Horcov on that penalty kill, especially when Vancouver bobbling the puck a little bit.
45 seconds left in the power play. Second unit out for Vancouver. Popping up at the line, and Corey Potter's there to clear. Dan Hamhuis. To Schrader to Raymond. Burrows. Back to Raymond. To Hamhuis. Nice play to Bieksa. He'll shoot. Looking for a redirect. Raymond couldn't get a stick on it. Alex Burrows. Jordan Schrader, the rookie, back to Hamhuis. Raymond. Schrader with a shot. Nice stop by Dubnyk through traffic. Burrows gets it back to Bieksa. Burrows in the corner. 5 seconds left in the power play. Here's Raymond at the line. Schrader with a chance for a shot. Dubnyk save, and he topples backwards, but he's able to hang on to the puck as the penalty comes to an end.
Vancouver pretty clearly knowing what their game plan is going to be on this power play. Get traffic to the front and get pucks there. Good save by Dubnyk. Then Schmid, I talked about the great block. I mean, as you said, Rick, Garrison's got a bomb from point. Then Horcov and Smith working extremely well in this power play. Smith is going to try and bat it out. He can't, so Horcov gets the puck down the ice. Excellent PK by the Oilers.
Canucks now shields within 14
down the ice. Excellent PK by the Oilers.
Canucks now shooting at within 14 to 12. But the real story is on the scoreboard. 4-0 Oilers.
Smith is going to try and bat it out. He can't, so Horcov gets the puck down the ice. Excellent PK by the Oilers.
Canucks now shooting at within 14 to 12. But the real story is on the scoreboard. 4-0 Oilers leading. Vancouver 0 for 2 on the power play in this game. Now 2 for their last 55. Steve Pinizzato after a puck. 28-year-old rookie gets it to Higgins on the wraparound. Put it through the crease and out the other side. Higgins keeps it alive, though. Evan out front for Pinizzato. Pass intercepted by Justin Schultz. And Everly's able to clear it out. Here's a 2-on-1. Hall. Over the front shot. Wide of the goal. And the puck goes off. Another odd-man rush. Stays 4-0 Oilers.
Well, Vancouver's clearly trying to create something in the offensive zone, which you try and pinch into that case. That was Alberts with the pinch right there. Leads to the 2-on right here. And if not for a rolling puck, that was an excellent opportunity. Just see how difficult that is to grab by Whitney. He's been jumping up into the play nicely too, Whitney, in a subtle kind of way.
Stays 4-0 Oilers. Another odd man.
Well, Vancouver's clearly trying to create something in the offensive zone, which you try and pinch into that case. That was Alberts with the pinch right there. Leads to the 2-on right here. And if not for a rolling puck, that was an excellent opportunity. Just see how difficult that is to grab by Whitney. He's been jumping up into the play nice. Here, trying if not for a rolling puck, that was an excellent opportunity. Just see how difficult that is to grab by Whitney. He's been jumping up into the play nicely too, Whitney, in a subtle kind of way.
Sam Gagner on the forecheck, hassling Edler. Hemsky keeps the puck outside. PRV to the corner for Hemsky, runs into Lapierre. That's the 6-minute mark of the second period here in Edmonton. Alex Everett lost the puck in his skates. Gets it back, though. Finds Yannick Hansen. And the speedy Dane will work it out. Got as far as the Edmonton line, no further. Jason Garrison ahead to Andrew Gordon. Former Duck gets it over the line. Lapierre. Hamhuis out front. Lapierre had to settle it down. Now we'll throw it there, and Hamhuis can't get a stick to it. Dubnyk cut it off. Horcov and Gordon battle in the corner. Here's Daniel. Played it to the side of the goal. Petrie intercepts. Jeff Petrie will carry out. Up the right wing. Yakupov over the line, but the Oilers are offside on that rush. Edmonton still in control. Rexall plays up 4-0 on Vancouver on Hockey Night in Canada. Still in control. Yakupov doing plays up 4-0 on Vancouver on Hockey Night in Canada. Well, Yakupov doing some hard work, Kelly, but he's got to learn to work smart too, doesn't he?
Absolutely. But, this is a terrific effort by Yakupov to bust back into the play. But at this point, he should stop behind the net, or to the side of the net, not go behind the net. And that's just one of the little subtleties you learn in defensive hockey. I can only assume, but that's what I have to imagine Ryan Smith is telling him at that point. Great effort, kid, but at that point, when you're at the side of your net, stop, stay in front, and then we're better defensively.
They've been better offensively, too, in this one. 4-0. Past the 7-minute mark of the second period.
You know, the thing is, too, in their own zone with this 4-0 lead, they haven't lost any energy. They haven't let it dip and allow Vancouver back in this game. This is the maturing of the Edmonton Oilers team, for sure.
Kevin Bieksa to a puck as Jones blew a tire. Yakupov throws a hit on Edler. Burrows can't get it. Off the boards. Horcov able to play it back to the corner, but it's stolen back by Burrows and cleared by Bieksa. Petrell. Hemsky. Ryan Smith. He's taken on a different role with this team. Fourth line centers. The puck goes on the play. And Kruger saying that Smith has really embraced the role and is all in, as he told us last time we were here.
Certainly has. And Kruger was telling us last week, if you recall, Rick, that what he really thinks this team is learning to do is play in 5-man units on a more regular basis. And tonight might be the best I've ever seen the Oilers this season in doing that.
Well, Kruger will be your guest with Scott on After Hours tonight. He's got a great story. You don't know it. You want to stick around. It is not your prototypical road to the National Hockey League as a head coach.
Motivational speaker, wears many hats. Author,
Yep. I can stick around for his book cover.
you don't want to spoil the surprise.
Here's Hemsky. Oh, what a move at the line. Hemsky with a shot. Oh, makes the save. Hemsky walked around and Alberts got a great scoring chance. And Alberts steps into an order. That was Petrell from behind. Good call on the play. Ryan Smith able to keep the puck onside. Up front. Petrell gets on. Nice save, Luongo, as he fired off the mitt to make the stop on that redirect.
Alex Hemsky must just lick his chops when he knows that he has a defenseman flat-footed. You're going to see it right here. As soon as, once again, like all top guys, as soon as the defenseman starts to cross his feet, then he goes the other way. There's the crossing of the feet, and they just wait and wait for that. And that's why a guy like Nick Lidstrom is so good, because he rarely ever crosses his feet, and that's a terrific save by Luongo, staying a little bit deeper in his net and waiting for the deflection to take place in front of him.
Taylor Hall with 3 goals tonight. Gets it back to Petrie. Can't keep it onside. Hall working in. Drops it off to Everly. Nugent Hopkins. Everly. Behind the net. Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Told us earlier when he was sick last week, he couldn't even get off the sofa. Third game back.
Lost 5 pounds, 5 that he can't lose anyways.
Here's Speed with a shot through traffic. Never got through to Luongo. He could hit Schrader in front of the goal. Played off puck to Hall with a shot. Back in traffic. And he's pushed it back to the goal. Top line for Edmonton has been magical tonight.
What a shift.
Got this Schrader line pinned. Now Reagan's able to work it off the pass. With 3 through center. Hansen. Up by Petrie. Back comes Everly the other way as the Canucks change. Garrison racing back to the play. Everly on the backside touches. And Garrison ties him up and is going to take a penalty. Be a holding call on Jason Garrison on a nice power move by Everly.
Well, Everly's going to get credit for making Garrison take this penalty, but it's Petrie that makes such an amazing play. Right there at the Oilers blue line, standing up Hansen, and that's where the turnover starts. Then Everly with those quick hands, slides to of the net. At that point, you can see that Garrison really didn't have any option. It looked as though Everly was around the poke check of Luongo. Bit of an abbreviated poke check. And at that point, there's no question that Everly would have had an open net.
Oilers 1 for 1 on the power play. Just the one shot was all they needed. Hall with his hat-trick goal on the last power play they had, the first one of the game for Edmonton. PRV, Hemsky up front. Along with Gagne. Yakupov to the back left point. Whitney on the other point. Cleared off the set base.
Shown by the Oilers right now in this power play, don't they?
Coming on now. 48 seconds left in the power play to go outside of the Vancouver blue line.
But it's Swagger to be hard to do. See how hot he's been the last 13 games. It's just like more of a Swagger, doesn't he, Rick?
Yeah, and Cougar said, you're not told it. You're not going to play in the NHL if you're going to be a perimeter player.
He's on his toes again, much like when we first saw him when he first came overseas and got that skating start back.
Here's Everly working the puck in. He drew the penalty. Feeds it back to Hall over to the other point to Justin Schultz. Right side to Nugent Hopkins. Back to Schultz. Pass deflected by Higgins, and he'll work it out. 3 Canucks through center. They don't have a short-handed goal this year. Higgins over the line. Lost the puck. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Suppose it out front. Higgins couldn't get a stick to it. Bieksa takes the puck out at center ice. Fires it back in, and that'll do it as Garrison steps out of the penalty box. Edmonton 1 for 2 on the power play. No shots on that last one. Alex Edler with the puck. Brown watching him. Edler gives it away to Petrell. He'll try a shot. Didn't get it through. Brown picks it up. Here's Petrie with a shot, deflected wide. Smith might have got a stick on that. Ryan Smith behind the net. Dropped it off. Knocked away by Lapierre. The puck played up the boards to Raymond, but he'll give it away at the line to Smeed with a slide. The whistle's wide. Kevin Bieksa behind the net. Penizzano tips it down the ice. They're going to wave off icing. Raymond after it. Watched by Petrie. Penizzano in there as well. He's tied up by Ryan Smith. Raymond gives it away to Smith. Over to Smeed, and he'll take his time and bring it out as the Canucks make a change with the Sedin line coming off from Vancouver. Approaching the 13-minute mark of the second. 4-0 Oilers. Canucks have outshot Edmonton 15-14. And Roberts with his own other shot steered aside by Dubnik. Line bouncing pass. Hawks over the stick of Garrison down the ice. Burrow caught by PRV.
Great pressure again by the Oilers. Not giving the Canucks any time to make a pass.
Sam Gagne trying to get out front. Cut off by Garrison. Burrows takes the puck. His pass deflects off a skate right to Henry. Who retreats. Drops it off for Burrows. And now Alberts. Over to Garrison. Fires the puck in. Both teams start a change. Ryan Jones plays it back into his own end to Potter. Jones gave it away at the line to Garrison. Here comes Schrader the other way. Raymond with a shot. Nice pass save. Dubnik fired off the left leg to stop that one as the rebound cleared.
Horcov getting a lot of action in the second period. Vancouver really throwing in a lot of different situations, showing a lot of trust in the youngster.
Raymond, penalty coming up to the Oilers as Luongo goes to the bench for the extra attacker. Whitney touches the puck. Vancouver going back on the power play, but Edmonton is in control, up 4-0. At a wreck on the power play, but Edmonton is in control, up 4-0. At a Rexall Place play, but Edmonton is in at a Rexall Place on Hockey Night in Canada. Vancouver Canucks about to get their third power play as Ryan Jones sits for high sticking. Got it up into the face of Tanev. Edmonton up by 4 with more. Here's Scott.
Okay, Rick, a quick record update. Entering tonight, Wayne Gretzky had the record for the fastest Oiler to record a hat trick from the start of the game. Did it in 12 minutes and 38 seconds in December of '86 against Quebec. Taylor Hall's beaten that by almost 5 minutes. He owns the record now with his 3 in 7:53. And as for the 3 shots on 3 goals, or 3 goals on 3 shots question, it happens from time to time. As we understand, Dallas did it to Nashville in '09.
Thanks, Scott. Canucks on the power play looking to find some life here. 0 for 2 in the game. Set it up. Henrik. Hansen. Henrik lost the puck in the skates of the referee. Schmid comes over to tie him up. Daniel looking to fish it free. Ryan Smith takes control, buys some time, fires it off the boards and down the ice. Nice to say you beat one of Wayne Gretzky's records.
Not many people in that category.
Especially when you're 21 years old. Yannick Hansen to the line, coughs it up, and the Oilers clear again with 1:13 to go in this Vancouver power play. Inside 5 minutes left in the second. Alex Edler to Burrows. Henrik. Garrison shot. Dubnyk shot all the way, made the save. Sanganya gets the puck and backhands it down the ice.
No traffic whatsoever on this power play for Vancouver. We've got to get back to that.
It's now 18-14 Vancouver. They outshot the Oilers 8-3 in the period. Bieksa puts the puck around the boards. Burrows lets it come back to Dan Amuse, but he can't get to it. Look out. That back the other way is Petrell shorthanded. Bieksa hustles over. Petrell out. Couldn't pull the trigger. Lost the puck as he wanted to shoot in the forehand. Should give out 2 shorthanded goals this season. 7 seconds left in the Jones penalty. It's Bieksa with one last rush in the power play. It's Raymond the line. He runs into Petrie. Penalty over. It's the one shot for Vancouver. Pinizzano behind the net. Schmid pushes into the end boards. Raymond gets the puck. Horcov watching him. Raymond's pass deflected by Jones. Plays it off the center ice for Horcov. Guard as far as the line. Evan able to take it away. Steps onto the bench. 2:40 left in the second. Justin Schultz. He's got to feel like he's playing 2 seasons in one. Coming out of college hockey.
You're right. You have to wonder how that's affecting him. Vancouver told us that at some point they're going to need a little more offense from him. But this is a huge adjustment.
Don't forget he played in Oklahoma City before the NHL season. A lot of the young guys did.
Second in league scoring for the longest time, too.
Hemsky was hit by Sestito and slow to get up at center ice. There's probably an advantage for those guys early in the year, but you wonder wonder if the fatigue factor may be setting in now.
I wouldn't disagree with that. There's no question. Even Alain Vigneault was telling us before the game that this is even a harder season than 09-10 when the Vancouver Olympics were held in Vancouver.
Coles at center. Talked about the stretch that they're in right now where the Canucks are playing 13 games in 23 nights in 4 different time zones. It's being tougher than those 14 straight road games they played on the just over a minute to go in the second period. The Oilers score, and the Canucks no score on CBC.
Met Mike Brown in our subway buyout, traded to Edmonton early this month from Toronto. He's from Chicago, where his father Barry owned Harley-Davidson dealerships. Mike grew up on dirt bikes, but his father would never allow him to ride a Harley on the streets, fearful of an injury that could end his hockey career. Mike reluctantly agreed, says he won't buy a Harley until he's finished playing. Meanwhile, he risks injuries and scraps, 10 of which he's had this season, most recently against Jared Bull of Columbus on Thursday night. His teammates say it made them play a little bit bigger in a 6-4 come from behind win. Rick?
And he served his 10-minute misconduct. Took at the end of the first period of Thompson Steele. Final of the play, the second bouncing puck in front of the Oilers. Now pulled aside by Ryan Smith. Edmonton scored 4 goals in the first 10 minutes, 52 seconds of this game. And they have been in control, as you would expect.
More than in control. Right now, it's pretty much a clinic on how to play big, solid team game.
Canucks called for icing. Alex Hemsky dodged the bullet earlier. Moments ago was kind of a fluky play, almost led to a catastrophic injury.
To the far right, you can see Thompson Speedo go after Hemsky, and his left skate comes up at the end and almost clips Hemsky. He goes to the bench, but he's still on the bench, so it looks as though he's okay. Boy, those are dangerous.
31 seconds left. Hemsky snapping a 12-game goalless drought last game.
Good solid
3-on-1 to develop off that face-off. And this is something we talked to Dan Biles about earlier. They have over 20 set plays off face-off. In every situation, every dot on the ice, they know exactly where everyone's going. And if you watch this, everyone goes on a mission to their desired spot. A 3-on-1 develops and get a great scoring chance there. Devin Dubnyk with his biggest save of the game to keep it only a 1-0 lead. And for Dan Bilesma, he says he wants to be unpredictable to the opponent, but predictable to his team, and it paid off there. As you can see, that was a set. And if you watch this, everyone goes on a mission to their desired spot. A 3-on-1 develops and get a great scoring chance there. Devin Dubnyk with his biggest save of the game.
Canucks clear the zone. Potter to it. Off the glove. Everly will work it in. Hall with him over the line. They crisscross Hall with a shot. That goes off the extra line.
How to play good, solid team game.
Canucks called for icing. Alex Hemsky dodged the bullet
Fans
earlier.
here in Edmonton know all about
Moments
Steve
ago was
McIntyre, the Mac attack.
boy almost led to a
Arguably the
catastrophic
toughest guy in the
injury.
National Hockey League. You can see signed for Pittsburgh in the offseason. He's had a terrific camp. He told
comes up at the end
likes the organization.
and almost clips
And how they're
Hemsky.
getting his first taste of
He
action
goes to
here
the
in
bench,
the
but he's still on the bench, so it looks as though he's okay.
I guess you
Boy,
don't
those
have
are
to
dangerous.
tell the Oilers to keep their head up when big number 33 is on the ice.
60 games played in an Oilers injury.
Far right, you see signed with
Speedo go
Pittsburgh
after
in the
him.
offseason. He's had a terrific camp. He told me this morning he really likes the organization and how they're treating him. Getting his first taste of action here in the third game for Pittsburgh against his old team Edmonton.
Over the line, they crisscross Hall with a shot.
Tell the Oilers to keep their head up when big number 33 is on the ice.
60 games.
You don't have to pick this guy in the National Hockey League, and he signed with Pittsburgh in the offseason. He's had a terrific camp. He told me this morning and really likes the organization and how they're treating him. Getting his first taste of action here in the third game for Pittsburgh against his old team Edmonton. And I guess you don't have to tell the Oilers to keep their head up when big number 33 is on the ice.
60 games played in an Oiler uniform over the course of
The organization and how they're treating him. Getting his first taste of action here in the third game for Pittsburgh against his old team Edmonton. And I guess you don't have to tell the Oilers to keep their head up when big number 33 is on the ice. 60 games played in an Oiler uniform over the course of 3 years.
The extra wide. They didn't see Whitney coming right through the slot. Selfish, those two.
Play good, solid team game.
Canucks called for icing. Alashensky dodged the bullet earlier.
The Edmonton native giving Taylor Hall a little bit of a ride afterwards. It was Taylor Hall that initiates the hit on Engelland after he tries to go through. Great play by the defender to get in that lane, not to let Hall get through, and then a little rush stuff afterwards. A little Scott saying, hey, I'm willing to do this. 13 fights last year for Engelland, and he was one of the tough defender to get the hit on Engelland after he tries to go through. Great play by the defender to get in that lane, not to let Hall get through, and then a little rough stuff afterwards. A little Scott saying, hey, I'm willing to do this.
Be selfish, boys. Seconds tick off the clock, and the second period ends the way the first one did. It's all Oilers. They build that 4-0 lead, and they are under control. The Canucks looking for something to build on. Start the third on CBC.
They've lost in 82, 94.
Third on CBC.
2011.
Back in Edmonton, where the Oilers are up 4-0 on the Canucks. Taylor Hall with the hat trick. Third period faceoff. Nugent Hopkins and Henrik Sedin at center ice. And barring a miracle of biblical proportions, the Canucks aren't going to win this game, Kelly. So what's their mind? Barring a miracle of biblical proportions, the Canucks aren't going to win this game, Kelly. So what's their mindset going into the third period, do you think?
Don't give up the goal. You know, that is really their hallmark. Great, strong defensive hockey, play 5-man units. As Rick Bowness said, Scott told us that try and win the second period. Well, they didn't do that, but they tied it, so try and win the third. Tough games, you know, coming up Monday.
Getting after Hemsky. No, Garrison got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Oak.
So the Oilers appear headed for their third straight win, and Ralph Kruger's way of keeping his team focused on making the playoffs is to divide the season into 3-game segments with the goal that the Oilers get 4 of the possible 6 points. For example, they just completed a segment in which they lost to Nashville that beat St. Louis and Columbus, so they gained 4 of 6. Tonight marks the start of another segment in which they face Vancouver and then Calgary home and home. Kruger says better this than looking at the Oval.
So it's all about I know it's old. Make sure we get back to that.
Daniel Sedin tips the puck in. I would expect them to be rolling for the lines, too, to try to late rush. They'll fly to San Jose tomorrow. Oilers done, but it might be icing. Getting after Hemsky. No, Garrison got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Oak.
Rick, the Oilers appear headed for their third straight win, and Ralph Kruger's way of keeping his team focused on making the playoffs is to divide the season into 3-game segments with the goal that the Oilers get 4 of the possible 6 points. For example, they just completed a segment in which they lost to Nashville that beat St. Louis and Columbus, so they gained 4 of 6. Tonight marks the start of another segment in which they face Vancouver and then Calgary home and home. Kruger says better this than looking at the overwhelming big picture that says the Oilers probably have to go something like 10-5 in their last 15.
Got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Oak.
Undisciplined penalties here. Given by the Pittsburgh Penguins. Cross checks from behind and just in the defensive zone. It's Hemsky here that gets cross checked as he has the puck from behind. Letestu will go to the box for 2 minutes. And then afterwards, Taylor Hall having some words as well as the Elk Point native of Alberta. Mark Letestu, not too happy. They sit in the box, but Edmonton goes back on the power play.
And it's their third power play. They have generated 4 shots with 2-man advantages. Ryan Smith
of Alberta. Mark Letestu, not too happy. They sit in the box, but Edmonton goes back on the power play.
And it's their third power play. They have generated 4 shots with 2-man advantages. They'll fly to San Jose tomorrow. Oilers dump it in. Might be icing. And getting after his header. Stop by Johnson. He'll hang on with Ryan Smith right on the doorstep. Downstairs to Scott Oak.
A real nice presence there by Pittsburgh. Only 3 men on 5. Just staying in the passing lane, not allowing Jordan Eberle to get that cross-seam pass. You can tell he wants to try and put this down the mark on the back wall, but he just can't find that seam to get it through. So good coverage by Pittsburgh to stay in their lanes, take it away. Barker gets the shot through. And guess who? Ryan Smith standing in front. Creates a good screen. One of the benefits of being 6'3" for Brent Johnson, he's able to still find that puck.
Most goalies in the National Hockey League break down games into 5-minute segments. It just seems as though it's a lot easier to be perfect in your own mind. 5-minute segments, it's almost too daunting at times to think that for 60 or 65 plus minutes
focus on it too. Like he brings it up occasionally, but they know what that goal is at 4 every 6 points. But it's not as though they talk about it ad nauseum.
Jones works the puck to the corner, rubbed off the play by Tanev. Raymond trying to clear and does. Potter fires it in. Luongo plays it up the near boards, picked off by Yakupov, trying to get out front, put a shot wide of the goal. He's 1-on-3, and he's still got a chance. Puck comes to the top of the crease. Luongo, he lost the puck, and it goes wide of the net. Looked like he had it under the glove, but somehow wound up in behind. Some people thought it was in. Luongo replacing Corey Schneider, who gave up 2 goals in the first 2 minutes and 5 seconds of the game. And Luongo gave up a goal on his first shot. The Oilers came out of the gates on fire tonight. And as Scott mentioned, 17.5 minutes away from the 3rd straight victory. 6-game winning streak about to get going. This one not officially over yet. Stranger things have happened. Vancouver's not been a very good third period team this year. Used to be their calling card. They score goals in the third. They've struggled in that area this year. 2 years in particular. Over the line with a wrister that deflects off the stick of Nick Schultz in the corner. Steelline out there. Got Hansen on the wing right now with the Twins. Henrik back for Daniel, but Everly saw that one coming, took it away, and Taylor Hall works it off the center. Nugent Hopkins carries in. Garrison. Daniels up to Hansen. Retreat. The Canucks find some room, but still can't get it out.
Oilers really clogging up the middle, which you expect.
Absolutely. And now they're going to call that offside of the Edmonton blue line.
What a great game Yakupov has had so far, showing a lot of energy. Incredible skill right here. I mean, that is why you draft a kid like that first overall. And determination. Terrific play, which reminded me of this unbelievable pass he made to Sean Horcov last game, which right there you would have thought that for sure he's going to take the puck to the net and try and score in Bobrovsky, but amazing vision right there, setting up his line mate Horcov.
That was a crazy game. Jackson can get it up.
Oilers really clogging up the middle, which you expect.
Absolutely. And now they're going to call that offside of the Edmonton blue line.
Great game Yakupov has had so far, showing a lot of energy. Incredible skill right here. I mean, that is why you draft a kid like that first overall. And determination has had so far, showing a lot of energy. Incredible skill right here. I mean, that is why you draft a kid like that first overall. And determination. Terrific play, which reminded me of this unbelievable pass he made to Sean Horcov last game, which right there you would have thought that for sure he's going to take.
Still can't get it out.
Oilers really clogging up the middle, which you expect. So far, showing a lot of energy, incredible skill right here. I mean, that is why you draft a kid like that first overall. And determination, perfect play, which reminded me of this unbelievable pass he made to Sean Horcov last game, which right there you would have thought that for sure he's going to take the puck to the net and try and score in the box.
Kelly, because they came out with gangbusters to start this one tonight, too.
Well, I certainly think it does. When you start to feel good, you're a young team like this, and you've got a lot of really good habits. Just try and carry those over. Don't think too much.
Here's Lapierre working the puck in. coming up. The hand injury cost Oilers for 9 games for Horcov as well. Jensen chips the puck in. Sestito after it, but Speed takes it away and put it off the boards. And with some help to the left side. Petrie. Ryan Jones lets it bounce over a stick to the neutral zone. The X is there. Right back in. Moving hands on the line. Sestito. To his own line. It's now puts it in. Ronaldo sweeps the puck to the far board. Smith is there. Mike Brown. Hansen comes away with it. This is Henrik with a pass. Schultz tied up by Henrik Sedin. Daniel gets the puck. Hansen's up front. Albert's tries a shot. That's blocked. Brown down the way. Albert falls. And it's a possible 2-on-1 for the Oilers. Brown goes to the puck. Smith's out front. Tannen came over to cut off the pass. Like Brown got a stick in the face. It looked like Commander Albert's full power on the play. Daniel Sedin. To Henrik. To Hansen. They go outside of the Edmonton line. Oilers 4, Canucks no score. 13:40 left in the third on Hockey Night in Canada. Tuesday, Rick Mercer visits the winning schools in the third on Hockey Night in Canada. Tuesday, Rick Mercer visits the winning schools in the Spread the Net Challenge. Then, 22 minutes, joins Justin Trudeau on the campaign trail. That's Tuesday, starting at 8 on CBC TV. 4-0 Oilers, third period in Edmonton, Canada. Getting contributions from everybody tonight.
Top to bottom, a great night. Mike Brown with the block and the Albert shot. Almost a 2-on-1 right here. Tannen comes out though, Ryan Smith open in front.
Intercepts an errant pass in center, and the net recovers to break it back up. Potter follows up and dumps it in. Shots 20-16 in favor of Vancouver. Stat doesn't matter much when you give up 3 goals on the first 3 shots. Nope, this is exactly what happened. Alexander. Higgins. Hit by Potter. Nugent Hopkins over the line to Hall. Played to the point. Kept onside. Everly. Whitney. Hall now. Back to the line to Potter. Over to Whitney. Jordan Everly. Whitney. Corey Potter. Whitney. Shot. Deflected wide. Good work by Everly. See the puck back with the shot. Along makes the save. Able to cover up with Hall sniffing around for a rebound.
Well, this young Oilers line, I'll tell you, that is supreme confidence right now. You can just tell that they're loving this game right now. And they're doing it all the right way. They're not getting all their rushes or their chances off the rush. This is just downward, down low play. That's an awfully impressive shift. Impressive shift.
Thought Potter and Whitney were just going to play catch back and forth, but the clock ran down. Oh, there, another shot off the draw. Stopped by Luongo. Well, presenting the Hockey Night second screen using a laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Participate in trivia, polls, and games. Interact and compete for cash prizes. Be part of our broadcast. Engage with us at cbcsports.ca/second screen. Oh, there, another shot off the draw. Stopped
down
by
low.
Luongo.
The look. Emily, one-timer from Parker. Stopped by Johnson. He'll hang on there by Pittsburgh. Only 3 men on 5. Just staying in the passing lane, not allowing Jordan Everly to get that cross-seam pass. You can tell he wants to try and put this down to Omar on the back wall, but he just can't find that seam to get it through. So good coverage by Pittsburgh to stay in their lanes, take it away. Parker gets the shot through. And guess who? Ryan Smith standing in front. Creates a good screen.
Here's Daniel.
Benefits of being 6'3" for Brent Johnson. He's able to still find that puck. Makes the save. Smith, great job in the circle.
Good work by Everly to steal the puck back with the shot. Luongo makes the save, able to cover up with Hall sniffing around for a rebound.
Well, this young Oilers line, I'll tell you, that is supreme confidence right now. You can just tell that they're loving this game right now. And they're doing it all the right way. They're not getting all their rushes or their chances off the rushes.
Garrison. Garrison knocks our flash. A laptop. Gagne, good work to knock the puck away from Garrison. PRV to Gagne in the corner. Sam Gagne throws it out front, pass to Flex. Nick Schultz behind the net. Hemsky hit by Garrison, knocks him down, but the puck comes to Gagne. Garrison steals it away and no time to clear the zone.
Luckily, he saw Garrison just at the right moment.
And Schultz trying to feed him over to Justin Schultz. Shot on his own goal. Yeah, but dude, there's some really nice saves coming in the first period. He got lost in all the goal scoring the Oilers were doing, but there's some crazy bounces that he had to stop. Again with the shot, Schultz stopped by Luongo, and he's able to hang on. 18 left in the third. Oilers 4. Canucks no score. Back to Scott. All right, Rick, you mentioned 18. Schultz stopped by Luongo, and he's able to hang on.
We just can't find that seam to get it through. So good coverage by Pittsburgh to stay in their lanes, take it away. Barker gets the shot through. And guess who? Ryan Smith standing in front. Creates a good screen. One of the benefits of being 6'3" for Brent Johnson, he's able to still find that puck and make the save. And get it through. So good coverage by Pittsburgh to stay in their lanes, take it away. Barker gets the shot through. And guess who? Ryan Smith standing in front. Creates a good screen. One of the benefits of being 6'3" for Brent Johnson, he's able to still find that puck and make.
With the shot, Schultz stopped by Luongo, and he's able to hang on. 11:18 left in the third. Oilers 4. Canucks no score. Back to Scott.
All right, Rick, you mentioned earlier Ralph Kruger will be with Kelly and me on After Hours. I tweeted earlier today that he may be the most interesting man in hockey because who else behind an NHL bench is an author, international motivational speaker, member of the World Economic Forum, and a competitive water skier? Dos Equis commercials are sure to follow. Lots to talk about with Ralph Kruger tonight, and I'm guessing he'll be in a positive frame of mind.
Is he ever not in a positive frame of mind, Rick, in your experience?
Yeah. All these are great guys to talk to. He's like the way his team is put. Is this a carry?
Ralph was telling us this morning that, you talked about, is this a carryover from the Columbus game? And he said that, he thinks this is the best they've ever been in terms of resiliency. Yeah. When you go back to the 3 comebacks they had in that game, and nothing was going to stop them from winning that one.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the way you draw up the game plan, but the fact that they were able to come back and win that game the way they did under duress, coming from behind, giving up an early goal. He was real happy with that side of the things, and like you said, he said it was the best display of resiliency he's seen out of this young team so far this year.
Now, this is a game right here they want to play.
Yep.
This is a nearly perfect game by the Oilers.
Andrew Alberts. And out. Alberts. Shot deflected. Dubnyk save. Rebound. Cleared to the boards. Alberts able to keep it in. Now face on. Save it in. Hang on.
Ralph was telling us this
Jordan Everly a great opportunity to tie this game at 1.
Just 2 terrific passes through the seam. A one-touch by Petrie down to Olmark. He rifles it across to Jordan Everly, and he just can't get a handle on it as it comes through. But the rebound comes right out after Olmark just throws it into that traffic area. A big rebound. Great job by Johnson to stay at that puck, follow it out to Petrie's stick, and make the save. Some good passes through the seam. A one-touch by Petrie down to Olmark. He rifles it across to Jordan Everly, and he just can't get a handle on it as it comes through. But the rebound comes right out after Olmark just throws it in.
Lifted over his head down the ice. Tannen goes back to it, icing on Edmonton, excuse me.
Well, Rick, you talked about the first period, but I love his warm-up. Here's something that I really think young kids have to really work on. I go watch a lot of amateur hockey games, and the warm-up isn't just for fooling around. There's a purpose there. You can see him visualizing and making sure his shoulders are ready and all parts of the body and the way the goaltender's playing out. It's just been a Real fun guy to watch the last few years and see his evolution.
Stopped all 21 he's seen so far tonight. Former Canucks Blazer. Leonard Petrell through center. Working on Schrader, who's back. The exit comes over to knock the puck free. Burrows finds Edler. Lead pass for Higgins, trying to split the middle. Now he gets control. Schrader jumping up on the rush, but Whitney's able to clear it up. As we approach the midway mark of the third, here's a steal by Eberle into the zone. Over to Whitney with room. Throws it off front. Shot by Nugent Hopkins. Put him high. At the top corner, missed the net. Back to icing on and dictate the terms when we get up by one.
Some of the things are falling in place for them right now. The best road power play in the league. They cash in. They're great with their tail in the air as the lead dog. They're up on this one. They got a big save from Roberto Luongo early on the Bay RV chance.
Visualizing and making sure his shoulders are ready.
Yeah, the Oilers were storming the rampart.
Play in the league. They cash in. They're great with their tail in the air as the lead dog. They're up on this one. They got a big save from Roberto Luongo early on the Bay RV chance.
Yeah, the Oilers were storming the rampart. This line is back up there, threatening again. Good help from the defense. Eberle, Potter, slap shot. Luongo makes the save, and he's able to hang on. 9:43 to go in the third. Oilers 4, Vancouver no score on CBC. It's Stanley Cup first. 4, Vancouver no score on CBC. Time now for Hockey Night Close-Up, brought to you by Subway Restaurants. And, oh, my guy gets a hat trick faster than any Oiler, even Wayne Gretzky in his career. You got to go with Taylor Hall.
We better show him, too. High short side on Schneider, high short side on Luongo, and then a beautiful power forward move right here. And, hey, why not mix it up a little bit after your hat trick? Gets involved with Kevin Bieksa, and then get a slash by Bieksa as well, but he's okay.
He's better than okay. Yeah, he's been great. Tannen goes back to it, icing on the Edmonton.
He hasn't been overworked, but some tricky stuff from the Oilers. There's his best stuff.
Something I really think young kids have to really work on. I go watch a lot of amateur hockey games, and the warm-up isn't just fooling around. There's a purpose in it. You can see him visualizing and making sure his shoulders are ready and all parts of the body. The way the goaltender's playing out.
Right here. Sedin taking out the feet of Jones.
I love his warm-up. Here's something I really think young kids have to really...
Tannen goes shot, deflected, Dubnik save, rebound. Play to the bench, able to keep it in.
Some tricky stuff from the Oilers. There's his best stuff.
Yep, this is a nearly perfect. Now this is a game right here they want to bottle.
Clear to the boards.
First period. Love his warm-up. Here's something I really think young kids have to really work on. I go watch a lot of amateur hockey games, and the warm-up isn't just for fooling around. It's put them on.
He's doing it over the line. The best display of resiliency. Down the Tannen goes back to it, icing on the lead pass for Higgins, trying to split the middle. Now he gets control. Straight. And the puck passes off the end boards to Nick Schultz. Garrison to it.
come outside the zone.
Well, for good reason. He's been bragging about give us the hat trick. Take a look at his numbers. Last 4 games. Pretty elite company right there when you've got 8 points and 12 shots already. Terrific young player. Plays with so much energy that it's contagious amongst your teammates. And that's not only in the games, that's in practice. You know, this young Oiler team, I'll tell you what, they play with a lot of enthusiasm. Just watching them this morning in the morning skate, they're just
Defenseman for the Vancouver Canucks for a long, long time.
undrafted player.
Goes out of play.
I mentioned earlier, Darcy Horcov
Face-off
quite
will come
vocal
outside
this
the zone.
morning on what he planned to do tonight. One of the things he said he was going to do is use the Sedins, but Horcov got the worst of this collision with Keith Ballard in the first period. Initially left the bench to walk off what looked like a lower body injury, and now he's in the Oiler room under examination.
Terrific young player.
Preseason,
So much energy.
going on about how Sean Horton saved his job as well as other guys, tough guys' jobs in the NHL with the intimidation that he inflicted on the Canucks during the Stanley Cup final. For a long, long time.
Undrafted player.
Puck goes out of play. Face-off will come outside the zone.
Well, for good reason. Energy that's contagious amongst your teammates. And that's not only in the games, that's in practice. You know, this young Oiler team, I tell you, so relaxed and comfortable and not overwhelmed by the situation they're in.
I see coming up against Edmonton. Big part of it for a young team, Kelly, is learning how to win, learning how to play as 5-man units. You know, a lot of the things that veteran teams are able to do out of habit, young teams have to learn how to do instinctually.
Yeah.
And they're getting there.
And you learn that it's all through hard work. It just doesn't appear magically. And you don't get results if you don't work as hard as the other team, or in most cases, of course, you work harder than the other team. And that's how this league is right now. There are no free nights, no easy nights, as we know. And with the parity, it really boils down. In most cases, of course, you work harder than the other team. And that's how this league is right now. There are no free nights, no easy nights, as we know. And with the parity, it really boils down to talent versus work.
Ryan Smith out to center. Brown with him. Edmonton, big part of it for a young team, Kelly, is learning how to win, learning how to play. I think Daniel's going back in the penalty box.
You're absolutely right. You're right with the set play. Get it in behind the Oiler defense and go after it. But a subtle little hook has the Oilers right back on the power play. Tied up in there. See guys now clamp down when they feel any kind of stick on their torso, and he got the call.
So hooking call to Sedin at 12:56. Edmonton 0 for 2 on the power play with just 2 shots on goal.
And you can see that on their guys now clamp down when they feel any kind of stick on their torso, and he got the call.
So hooking call to Sedin at 12:56. Edmonton outside by Petrell. Yexa will take it. The other way for Vancouver. Tom Sestino steps on the puck and falls. Smith. Taylor Hall back out there again in the high slot.
Trying to dangle around Everett. Lost the puck. Hall gets it back to the line to Potter. Potter waiting for traffic. Tries a shot up high. Luongo makes the save. Loose puck to the line. Muscled out over the blue line to center by Yannick Hansen. Nugent Hopkins plays it ahead. Here's Eberle back the other way with speed. Trying to cut around Eder. Eberle goes behind the net. Throws a pass out front. Shot. Oh, what a stop by Luongo. Taylor Hall right from the scoreboard. Eberle pops it up. He goes Tanner the other way. Shot on goal, and an easy stop for Dubnyk, who's able to hang on.
Well, you said you didn't know how he kept it out. I'll tell you, it's one word, and that's determination. Eberle with that pass over to Hall, and you can see that Luongo is tied up with his defenseman right there, and he just drops his stick. You see the stick by Edler's feet, and he just with his blocker, he turns his hand over. You know, that is an amazing effort, and that really tells you why he's been such a good goalie for so long. In a 4-0 game with just over 7 minutes to go, there's no quit. It's all compete and fight. Tells you what, you know, That is an amazing effort, and that really tells you why he's been such a good goalie for so long. In a 4-0 game with just over 7 minutes to go, there's no quit. It's all compete and fight by the veteran. That's a real lesson for young goaltenders out there.
You know, and for all the work goalies do now in technique and positioning, sometimes it just comes down to whatever it takes to make the stop.
I've said that for years. At some point, you have to abandon your style. Right there, Duke been great stuff.
Stops Andrew Alberts, who's been offensively jumping up into the play more than usual. 6:45 to go in the third period as Schrader works it back in. Nice drop pass to Higgins with a shot. That reflects up into the shoulders of Nick Schultz. Puck goes to the far corner. Hemsky there takes a hit from Burrows. Higgins. Justin Schultz behind the net. Hassled by Schrader. Schultz recovers, but Burrows giving him a hard time in the corner. Higgins comes over to help out. Gagne's there for the Oilers as well. Edmonton more than happy to muck it up along the boards, but they cough it up to the line of Garrison. Evans. Knocked down by Justin Schultz. Hemsky gets the puck, can't get it out. And now they will as Gagne clears the zone. 14-minute mark in the third. Shots 23-22 in favor of Vancouver. Oilers up 4-0. One more goal for the comeback. Less than 6 minutes away from a third straight win. Mason Raymond. Petrie fires the puck around. Yankovic trying to tip it up. Can't. Ever with a shot that didn't get through. Jones there to clear.
Still, Oilers bending a little bit, but not breaking. Fine.
Pierre with a pass out front. That's intercepted by Petrie and cleared out to an open wing. Edward just off the bench gets over to it, gives the puck to Bieksa.
I mean, that was a great example right there. Lining up the blue line, taking away the middle of the ice. That's awfully difficult to enter the zone.
Oilers came into this game 3 points behind St. Louis for that final playoff spot in the West. And people were wondering if they were out of it. Suddenly, 3 straight wins, you're right back in the hunt again.
And playing a solid brand of hockey. I mean, it's not that the goaltenders are stealing the games either. They played well, don't get me wrong, especially having to do it in St. Louis, but this is just a great team effort.
There's Bieksa trying to get out front. Smith able to knock the puck away from him with help, and Whitney gets control with room to clear and does. 4.5 to go in the third. Sedin carries to center, ahead to Hansen, tips it in for Henrik, over to Gagne with a shot. It's blocked by Justin Schultz. Puck goes to the corner. Here's Henrik. Out front, Hansen couldn't reach the puck. It was knocked away in the last second, and a good play by Nugent Hopkins.
And he's so proud of the fact Nugent Hopkins about his defensive play, isn't he, Rick?
Here's Everly behind the net.
Talked to him this morning about that. And he's his coach in junior, Jeffrey Wallen. Showing defensive play.
There's Hall with a shot. Stop. Rebound. Oh, great save by Luongo as he stopped Everly point blank range. 2 big saves by Luongo in the third period. All for the time being. No, they're not in terms of his game, but here's Everly behind the net.
Talked to him this morning about that. And he's his coach in junior, Jeffrey Wallen. Showing defensive play.
There's Hall with a shot. Stop. Rebound. Oh, great save by Luongo.
Talked to him this morning about that. And it's his coach. Junior, Jeffrey Wallen. on defensive play. Oh, the shot stop. Rebound. Great save by Luongo as he stopped every point-blank range. Two big saves by Luongo in the third period. All for naught in terms of this game, but like you said, Kelly. Trade deadline on Wednesday, Kelly, and who knows if he'll be here after. Trade deadline on Wednesday, Kelly, and who knows if he'll be here after that or not. One of the guys is not flipping on a play, and I think that's going to be a penalty. Tana kicked that right over the glass. Now they're talking about it. Well, Ryan Jones is all over Tana. That's going to be a battles took place. Favorite things he had another. Then on Arctic Air, Krista's mother drops by. All new episodes starting Wednesday. The minute 53 left in the third period. Get their lead over. The opponent in the third period. In terms of the talked to him this morning about that.
Oilers 4, Canucks no score. 13:40 left. The Tigers line. Oilers 4, Canucks no score. 13:40 left in the third on Hockey Night at Stanley.
Tuesday, Rick Mercer visits the winning schools in the Spread the Net Challenge. Then, 22 minutes, joins Justin Trudeau on the campaign trail. That's Tuesday, starting at 8 on CBC TV. 4-0 Oilers, third period in Edmonton, Kelly, and Edmonton getting contributions from everybody tonight.
Top to bottom, a great night. See, there isn't a weak link. Mike Brown with the block from the Albert shot. Almost a 2-on-1 right here. Tatum getting back. That was Ryan Smith open in front. And we talked about it at the start of the third period. What are your goals? Well, don't give up any goals. Luongo holding up his end of the bargain.
Nugent Hopkins plays the puck back to the corner. Alberts is there. Yannick Hansen takes control. He'll bring it out. Both teams change. Sands enjoying it. It was a good week ago. Kelly, you were here. They were doing it. Minnesota here when they lost to St. Louis 3-0.
And Bigger was telling us here, it's not if you win or lose necessarily, you can't do this. It's the effort and how you play the game.
Sangano with control. PRV over the line. Hemsky. Battling with Matthews. Burrows gets the puck. Schrader will bring it out. Burrows, Schrader, Higgins up together. They're doing some lines over here in the third period. Puck comes back to the line. Yes, can't keep outside. Yeah, trying to get there. Higgins pokes it through. Mason Raymond. Push to the boards and a good play by Petrie. He's able to get the puck out the center himself. Knocked down by Lapierre. And the puck goes out of play with a minute 53 left in the third period. Wednesday, Culture Day sets off a rivalry between Mr. D and another teacher. Then on Arctic Air, Krista's mother drops by. All new episodes starting at 8 on CBC TV.
You know, one of my favorite things as a former player is when game's out of reach now, but somebody doesn't quit. And that's certainly the case of Luongo in this third period. He's made 3 remarkable saves, 2 of them right there. It's not only
somebody doesn't quit. And that's certainly the case of Luongo in this third period. He's made 3 remarkable saves, 2 of them right there. It's not only for the goal, 3 remarkable. That's certainly the case of Luongo in this third period. He's made 3 remarkable saves, 2 of them right there. It's not only for the goaltenders. I would Rick. I just love if there's a defenseman that battles till the very end and go down with Rick. I just love if there's a defenseman that battles till the very end and go down or a forward, a 4-5 forward. It's not only for the goaltenders. I would Rick. I just love if there's a defenseman that battles till the very end and go down. Whatever he needs to do. Luongo put in after 2 quick goals by the Oilers to start this game. It had to be hard on him. I mean, Schneider's been in the zone so much that it's not even a sniff that he's going to get a chance to play, and suddenly you're in. He gave up 2, but has settled down. And Bingo told us he just wanted one of the guys as the Canucks flipping on a play, and I think that's going to be a penalty.
Now they're talking about it. Well, Ryan Jones was all over Tanev, forcing him. The puck did roll in Tanev right here. So in this case, this is one of those unfortunate ones where you're just trying to flip the puck off the glass, clear the zone. See right there, the puck's rolling, and then Tanev knows he's going to get hit. He knows that it's Jones coming in to make the play. And Tanev knows he's going to get hit. He knows that it's Jones coming in to make the play. But the Oilers get another power play. Tanev in the box. Brutal along the trade deadline on Wednesday, Kelly, and who knows if he'll be here after that or not. I like the Oilers' choice of players here. Brian Smith with Petrell and Brown up front, and Potter and Whitney on the back end. Give us the other guys a chance at a power play. Rolls to Luongo, who's representing the crease. Said Roberto's been pretty darn good in this. He's gave up too early, but he's held the fort for the longest time there. He made some big saves, and that's just a guy that, as you said earlier, Rick, that's professional pride right there. And that's just a guy that, as you said earlier, Rick, that's professional pride right there. Rolls to Luongo, who's representing the crease. Rolls. And we got 1:03 left to go in the game. Said Roberto's been pretty darn good in this.
The kids finally got it going.
But, he's held the
And
fort
Nugent
for the
Hopkins
longest
has
time
his
there. He
second
made some big
NHL goal
saves.
here on the power play tonight to tie it at 1.
And
the Canucks penalty killing was hyper-aggressive early and then had it in good stead here, but it's the puck movement and the swift decision by Everly down low to get it through the crease. Roberto Luongo ends up on his belly again after the initial save.
And
3 whacks at that, I think. Nice hand-eye coordination. Watch.
Gave up too early, but he's held the fort. Our play. Rolls to Luongo, who's representing the crease.
Look at how fight. There was a fight if we win this game with the one goal. In Detroit. They'll go to the box. Needed stretch here in Edmonton. Ryan Nugent Hopkins on the power play.
League in 94, the lace-up part in the front remains from the first pair Smith wore when he came into the league in 95. Over the years, about 3 other pieces have been replaced, and most recently, the foam padded caps that all players have been required to wear since last season were sewn on. We could ask why he just doesn't get a new pair, but to a hockey player, Mark, that would be a stupid question.
He was telling us, Scott, this morning he went to the Eskimos game. Those guys see a roll. Corey Schneider has a great box of the fill their parts underneath.
I think I've said all along, he's one of those guys to get rolling. Corey Schneider had been. He'd been great in that 6-game winning streak. But who knows what the future holds for Roberto Luongo after the trade deadline, Kelly. You might be saying, look, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to make a case that you should start me for a few games. See if I get on a roll.
We knew that would be the case, the same as Brian Smith, professional pride. So here's a guy that's playing out of position. Talking about some of those adjustments, and he said, well, typically, as you know, his strong point is going to the front of the net. Now, basically, it's the winger's job. He's had a little bit of a challenge in the defensive zone, but he's getting used to it. But Rob Kruger said he's just an ultimate professional, consummate team man, and he's body forward.
Doesn't get much power play time anymore, but he's up there now. 37 seconds left in the period. He gets numbers on the line. Seconds to go. Looking for something to build on. Start the third on CBC. Back in Edmonton, where the Oilers are up 4-0 on the Canucks. Taylor Hall with the hat-trick. Three-hitter for your face-off. Nugent Hopkins and Henrik Sedin at center ice. And barring a miracle of biblical proportions, the Canucks are going to win this game, Kelly. So what's their mindset going into the third period, do you think? Don't give up a goal.
You know, that is really their hallmark. Strong defensive hockey, play 5-man units. As Rick Bowness said, Scott Oak told us that try and win the second period. Well, they didn't do that, but they tied it, so try and win the third. All the tough teams, you know, coming up Monday, it's just Thursday, so it's all about those going to the regular season. Until we get past that.
Anderson, he tips the puck in. I would expect them to be rolling 4 lines, too, to try and get legs back. Flying San Jose tomorrow. Oilers dump it in. Might be ice. Nashville will beat St. Garrison got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Upton. They'll fly to San Jose tomorrow. Oilers dump it in. Might be icing. Getting after Zemsky. No, Garrison got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Oak.
Oilers appear headed for their third straight win, and Ralph Kruger's way of keeping his team focused on making the playoffs is to divide the season into 3-game segments with the goal that the Oilers get 4 of the possible 6 points. For example, they just completed a segment in which they lost to Nashville that beat St. Louis and Columbus, so they gained 4 of 6. Tonight marks the start of another segment in which they face Vancouver and then Calgary home and home. Kruger says better this than looking at the overwhelming big picture this season. 10-5 in their last 15 to get 53 points, which might get them a playoff spot.
Thanks, Scott. Break it down to little bite-sized niblets.
You'd think he was a former goaltender with an attitude like that. I think most goalies in the National Hockey League break down games into 5-minute segments. It just seems as though it's a lot easier to be perfect in your own mind for 5-minute segments. It's almost too daunting at times to think that for 60 or 65-plus minutes that you have to be perfect.
So look at the big picture. Okay, look, we can win 2 or 3. Let's try. We can win 2 of the next 3. And that's the way to do it. In fact, the last 3 segments, Zemsky, no, Garrison got a stick in there for the icing call. As we go downstairs to Scott Oak.
Rick, the Oilers appear headed for their third straight win, and Ralph Kruger's way of keeping his team focused on making the playoffs is to divide the season into 3-game segments with the goal that the Oilers get 4 of the possible 6 points. For example, they just completed a segment in which they lost to Nashville that beat St. Louis and Columbus, so they gained 4 of 6. Tonight marks the start of another segment in which they face Vancouver and then Calgary home and home. Kruger says better this than looking at the overwhelming big picture that says the Oilers probably
goaltenders in 5-minute segments. Almost too daunting at times to think the league. Break down games into 5-minute segments. It just seems as though it's a lot easier to be perfect in your own mind for 5-minute segments. It's almost too occasionally, but they know what that goal is at 4 or 36 points. But at times when they talk about it,
Jones puts the puck to the corner, rubbed off the play by Tannen. Raymond trying to Henry. Back for Daniel, but Everly saw that one coming, took it away. And Taylor Hall works it off the center. Nugent Hopkins carries in. Garrison. Daniels. Retreat, the Canucks. But they can't get it.
Oilers really clogging up the middle, which you expect. Absolutely.
Now we're going to call that offside of the Edmonton blue line.
What a great game Yakupov has had so far, showing a lot of energy, incredible skill right here. I mean, that is why you draft a kid like that first overall, and determination. Terrific play, which reminded me of this unbelievable pass he made to Sean Horcov last game, which right there you would have thought that for sure he's going to take the puck to the net and try and score in Bobrovsky, but amazing vision right there, setting up his line with Horcov.
That was a crazy game. Oilers were down 1-0 to get a goal 10 seconds in. They were down 2-0. They came back. They wound up winning that game by 2, 6-4. And you got to wonder if some of that momentum carried over to the start of this game, Kelly, because they came out of the game process to start this one tonight, too.
Well, I certainly think it does. When you start to feel good in your young team like this, and you've got a lot of really good habits, you just try to carry those over. Don't think too much.
There's Lapierre working the puck in. Bieksa. Edler. Out front looking for Evan. Couldn't reach the pass. Jeff Petrie took it away and got it outside the line. PRV will dump it in, but nobody there. This is icing on Edmonton as the faceoff will come back to the other end. 15:23 left in the third period.
Yakupav's pretty fortunate here. He has teammate Sean Horcov, and I've talked before about his importance. You can see the camaraderie they're building. You know, Horcov is maybe a forgotten man here, but let's not forget after the second period, Rick, of all the players on the Edmonton. That's why
Games for Horcov is
member, great on the ice, great with the kids.
Yes, it's coming off that hand injury. 5 goals in 9 games for Horcov as well.
Yep.
The exit chips the puck in. Sestito after it, but Speed takes it away. He'll put it off the boards, and with some help to the line, not out. To his own line. The 12 dumps it in. Milano shoots the puck to the far goal. Smith is there. Hansen comes up early. This is Henry with a back. Tied up by Henrik Sedin. Daniel gets the puck. Hansen's up front. Alberts tries a shot. It's blocked. Brown down the way. Alberts falls. And it's a possible 2-on-1 for the Oilers. Brown goes to the puck. Smith's up front. Tanner came over to cut off the pass. Brown got a stick in the face. It looked like Commander Alberts went on the play. Daniel Sedin. To Henrik. To Hansen. They go offside at the Edmonton line. Oilers score. Canucks no score. 13:40 left in the third. United States. Tuesday, Rick Mercer. Brown got a stick in the face. It looked like Commander Alberts went on the play. Daniel Sedin. To Henrik, to Hansen, they go offside at the Edmonton line. That's no score, 13:40 left in the third on Hockey Night in Canada. Tuesday, Rick Mercer gives us the winning schools in the Spread the Net Challenge. Then, 22 minutes, joins Justin Trudeau on the campaign trail. That's Tuesday, starting at 8 on CBC TV. 4-0 Oilers, third period in Edmonton, Kelly, and Edmonton getting contributions from everybody tonight.
Top to bottom, a great night. See, there isn't a weak link. Mike Brown with the block and the Albert shot. Almost a 2-on-1 right here. Down getting back. That was Ryan Smith open in front.
Taylor Hall intercepts an error at center, and then Edler recovers to break up that rush. Potter follows up and dumps it in. Shots 20-16 in favor of Vancouver. Stat that doesn't matter much when you give up 3 goals on the first 3 shots. Nope, which is exactly what happened. Alex Edler. Hit by Potter. It's an offensive foul on the ball. Way to the point. Inside. Everly. Whitney. Back to the line to Potter. Over to Whitney. Jordan Everly. Whitney. Over Potter. Whitney. Shot. Deflected wide. Good work by Everly to steal a puck back with the shot. Oh, makes the save. Able to cover up and Hall slipping around for a rebound.
Well, this young Oilers line, I'll tell you, that is supreme confidence right now. You can just tell that they're loving this game right now. And they're doing it all the right way. They're not getting all their rushes or the chances off the rush. This is just down low play. That's an awfully impressive shift.
Potter and up it up. Lines up. Yeah.
So in this case,
The guy's a chance of the power. Good, great in that 6-game winning streak. But who knows what the future holds for Roberto Luongo after the trade deadline, Kelly? But he might be saying, look, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to make a case that you should start me for a few games and see if I can get on a roll.
we knew that would be the case. Same as Brian Smith, professional pride. So here's a guy that's playing out of position.
Future holds for Roberto Luongo after the trade deadline, Kelly. But he might be saying, look, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to make a case that you should start me for a few games and see if I can get on a roll.
We knew that would be the case. Same as Brian Smith, professional pride. So here's a guy that's playing out of position. Talk to you about some of those.
They time it for to Garrison. Right block, BC native, fires it down the ice. Garrison. 20 seconds to go.
Changes to wind this game to
And this Edmonton crowd starts to up. The crowd. And this Edmonton crowd starts to rise to its feet. 20 seconds to go.
8 minutes to go. Shot Horcov.
And this Edmonton crowd starts to rise to its feet. As we watch the Horcov go to turn the series. Every reason.
Let's see if the Oilers go back to back to win the Stanley Cup. For 100 minutes.
Doesn't get much power play time anymore. But there now 37 seconds left in the period. And here's Smith with a shot, put it wide. Stepped on the gas early. And cruised to a 4-0 win over the Vancouver Canucks as Kevin Dubnyk stops all 23 shots for his 6th career shutout and the 2nd of the season. Now the goal is to congratulate everybody, enjoy this victory, to get ready for Calgary. Calgary comes in here on Monday and make sure that this is the same sort of That's it from Edmonton. Back to Toronto. San Jose on Monday. 6. Mentioned Oilers and Canucks. Canucks are in San Jose on Monday. That's it from Edmonton. Back to Toronto and Elliott Friedman for the Blue Stars. Third period. It's it from Edmonton. Back to Toronto and Elliott Friedman for the Blue Stars.